Alison Leiby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
my God.
shitballs.
You want to like flip this table over?
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
I wish. Oh my God.
Hi.
It's going to be fun.
This
We're
is
going to have
gonna
a
be
nice
fun. Yeah, we're going to have a nice time.
Alison, thanks for doing the
Oh
pod.
my God, thanks for having me.
This is great because we've known each other for a while.
Yes.
And I know nothing about your past.
Oh, wow.
I only know about your
Neither
present.
do I. It's
I
a lot of
only-
mysteries and texts from people being like, hey, did you know? And I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. I did that?
Oh,
I did
wow.
that.
There's not evidence, right? No
Yeah.
photograph? Okay, cool. Fine.
Yeah. We got lucky because I think we're around the same age.
Yeah.
That when we were making all the mistakes, there was no video.
It's like, no, there was no video. I mean, for the first 2 years I was in college, there weren't really digital cameras.
Yeah.
Which does age me to a point where I'm like, well, I'm 38.
Yeah.
And that is how old I am.
Yeah.
Ah.
We had the digital cameras, but we also had the cameras that were film that were just
The
disposable.
disposables.
I was all about that life.
Well, that was like how my friends and I would piece together what happened every weekend.
Yeah.
Like my friends, my group of friends and I in college would like, we would each buy like 2.
Yeah.
And like we would go to a party, we would take them and we would take hundreds of photos, just
Yes.
like not knowing what we're
Mhm.
catching. Like
Yeah.
kids don't know how like stressful it was to be like, well, that's like $4.
Yeah.
Like we'll see.
Yeah,
It could all just be blurry stuff.
Oh, you forgot to turn on the flash?
Yes.
Fuck.
And then,
That's
like,
done.
We would take them, we would go to parties on Saturday. On Sunday morning, we would go to brunch, drop them off. It was like in the dining hall, like student union thing. And then on Tuesday, when we went to dinner, we would pick all of them up. And then dinner was just circulating the pictures among the group, being like, does anyone remember this happening? Did we make out? I don't know. It's like, well, I don't know. There's 3 pictures and you keep getting closer, but then now you're on the ground. I don't know what's happening. And there were like doubles and people would be like, no, I need both. Like,
Yeah. Then you just burn them.
yeah, you're just like ripping them up.
Yeah.
And you're like, this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Man, I miss college.
100. I mean, we had a good time.
I
in
miss the
college.
freedom of not having everything I do recorded
Right?
for and then put on the internet.
And then
like,
put on the internet, and now it's some TikTok, and someone's like, "You're a Karen." It's just like, I'm just trying to eat eggs, dude.
yeah, just let me eat some
Yeah.
eggs alone in
Yeah.
peace. I don't
Hungover and
I don't want to
sad.
see what I look like when I eat. I'm not interested in knowing what that
No.
profile could be. I'm
Nope.
sure it's just a straight line down.
Yeah, and then
Um,
just chins on chins,
chins
on
on
chins. Anyway, sorry that was too sexy for you guys. So sorry.
Calm down.
I know. So where are you from?
I'm from Maryland. If my
Oh.
boat shoes didn't give that away when
Yeah,
I walked in,
actually.
and my like fishing jacket, I'm like, are we not getting on a boat to do the podcast?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's very, very nautical. I like
Very
that.
nautical. I'm from Maryland.
Yes. And you were on my other podcast, Beasts, right? Because you were a rower.
Yes, because I was a rower.
Yes.
Because I was a rower.
Yeah.
So that made sense. Everything
Yeah.
was boats and on the
Yeah.
water, and then I rowed at Cornell, and then
Look at that.
know,
She's
look
an
at
Ivy
that.
League bitch.
That she
Woo!
is.
That's why she has
that was
round glasses.
That was expensive.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Do you
stupid.
still have student loan debt?
I do not. I am very, 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 very privileged to not have any. So
Mhm. That's nice.
Nice. But
Yeah.
I want everybody's to be forgiven. All student debt, forgive it all. Like, I don't care. Forgive it all.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. We're in an upside down economy and we're all going to die soon. So
Yeah.
we'll be underwater before financially things catch up with us.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we'll be underwater because
Yeah.
the earth is slowly sinking and on fire.
Fun.
But,
Yeah.
you know, I want everybody's loans forgiven, and I am grateful I did not have any.
Yeah. Yeah. I just submitted for the Biden's $220,000, but I have $200,000 in debt. So I'm like, okay.
It's just like, sure, that's
Yeah.
something.
I'm
That's,
paying.
Right.
I'm doing
God.
the pay what you can, whatever.
Oy.
Yeah. And I'm fine with it.
I hate this
I'm-
place.
I'm fine with it because I make so little money.
Yeah. But
that
they're
I-
like, you know what? Don't bother.
Yeah. Here's $100. Can you do $100? And I'm like,
Yes.
you bet.
I went to grad school and took out loans for that. And then I dropped out of grad school and then was surprised to learn you have to pay those back.
Yes.
I thought that like maybe that would not happen because I
Mhm.
didn't keep going. And they're like, no. And then it was like 2 years passed and they were like, hey, first of all, these have doubled.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
So you need that money, huh? I don't have that degree. Also,
Yeah.
even if I had it, I wouldn't have that money because that
Yeah.
was a stupid degree
What was the degree in?
in like media studies
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
from NYU. It was before I started doing comedy and I was like, now what?
Yes.
And then I was like, I guess it's this. And then it was like right when I started doing open mics. And then I was like, oh no, I've made a horrible mistake.
we have parallel
Yes.
thoughts because
That's-
I went to undergrad, didn't have any loans.
Mhm.
Not I'm very lucky.
Yes.
And then I went to grad school and took out all of the loans.
Yes.
Every single loan.
What did
could
you
take
go to
out.
grad school for?
Photography and media art.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oops. But I
At-
finished. I finished because I was like, this is like summer camp.
That's bad.
Yep. Yeah.
Grad school is the only time when I'm like, no, you should drop out.
Yeah. If you don't feel it, just
don't
leave.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. No one's making you do it.
I graduated, and then 3 years later, I started doing comedy.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what are you doing?
Just a stupid, if we could have known.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
No one should. I was 21. No one should give me $127,000.
No.
Yeah.
At 38, no one should give me $127,000. Like,
not unless there's a house involved.
Yeah. There needs to be actual property attached to that money for that to even like make sense. Because like at least there's some kind of collateral for when I don't pay it.
100%. 100%.
You can take the house back. You can't take back 13 credits of nothing.
Yeah, of nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I didn't learn anything in grad school.
People are like, what is media studies? And I'm like, I don't know.
You probably have a better idea than I do.
You could guess, and I'd be like, that's it.
Yeah, I study the news.
Yeah. Media, and you study it.
Yeah. See how media works.
Yeah, I'm a fucking dumbass.
I was like, I did like video performance. They're like, oh, so you must have some skills about how to edit. And I was like, no. Nothing practical.
Yeah. And also like that's so long ago at this point that it's irrelevant even if you did, because like the technology has changed so much. People are like, you know how to use like your phone and edit a video? And I'm like, I'm not sure I could take a video on my phone if we're being perfectly honest. I'm either taking a video thinking it's a photo or vice versa. That is how media gets put on my phone. That's it. I'm so bad at all of it. I refuse to learn. I just joined TikTok and I'm just looking. I'm not posting. I'm just looking and I'm like, this is terrible.
It's a lot, but you could stay on that shit for hours.
Every time I open it, I get one of the notifications that's like, hey, you've been here for a long time. Do you want to stop? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Shut up,
what are you
bitch.
trying to be, Netflix? Get out of here. Don't judge me.
No.
I know. It's awful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back on track.
Sorry.
No,
very
don't
sidetracked.
you dare
Got
apologize.
very sidetracked.
Beautiful.
I'm big into tangents.
Did you, high school, what were you like in high school? Hip kid?
Like, no. So the hip kids in my high school were like blonde Christians who like didn't do anything. It was this very upside down, backwards place, and I hate it so much. And I have a very complicated relationship with the whole entire state of Maryland. So like me and some friends were like fun and cool. Like, you know, I was friends with everybody, but not but also not because the popular kids were the ones who were like, no, we go to CCD or whatever fucking Christians do. I'm Jewish, which, duh. Everybody's like, we could tell. So then it was like the burnouts who were doing like normal high school partying. Yeah. And then like somewhere in the middle was like me and my friends being like, we sometimes drink beers while we watch college basketball.
Wow. College basketball.
Maryland. You know, a lot of people ended up going to Maryland. Just deep hatred of Duke in every place we could find it. And I think that was fun. But like, just like drinking some beers, hanging out. Like nothing crazy. No real crazy drinking until kind of end of high school into college. Yeah,
what'd you do at the end of high school? What was that? What was the crazy drinking in high school? What did that look like?
It wasn't like why, like with my friends, like they were just like, I remember the first time I got like drunk, like really drunk was when one of the girls on my rowing team, her parents were away. I don't think they lived there. I think she lived like in a house by herself. Oh no. Like 20 days of the month. Like
That's
just like
so sad.
One of them, but just like they were like super rich and they were like, okay, bye, Stella. Like they just like didn't like, you know, she always had like boyfriends who were like in their mid 20s. And I'm like, you know, even then I was like, yuck. And like looking back, I'm like, oh no. Like,
I should have done more.
Crystalia, no. No, we were too old for him because we were like 18 by then. And
you burnt Crystalia.
Gotcha. Fucking pedophile. So is that okay? I don't know.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Fuck him.
Yeah. He's also not funny.
No,
so.
I know. It's like, what was even the appeal from the beginning?
I know.
So greasy.
It's a whole thing.
So I remember the first time I got drunk, my friend and I bought 2 6-packs of Mike's Hard Lemonade. Yeah. And like up until then, I had like had beers or like, you know, sipped like once or twice off of like, you know, a bottle that we passed around of like some kind of like awful cheap vodka or something like that. But this was the first, like, we're sitting down and we're really consuming.
Yes.
And I had 4 of the 6 Mike's Hard Lemonades and like spent most of the night just like throwing up everywhere. Cause like, and to this day, like the emergence of White Claw and the hard seltzers in our culture, like I smell it and I get nauseous. Like that's my first, do you have like an alcohol that like was such a bad experience that like no matter what, it's off the table? What
Vodka.
Is it?
Vodka and then some spiced rum. I smell it.
Well,
like, oh, we did it.
Yeah, because it was like always mixed with like the sugariest thing ever. And it's like, this is already just sugar made into alcohol.
Yeah.
But Mike's Hard Lemonade, like that malt taste, it just like still brings up like a in the back of my throat. And I just like can't drink a hard seltzer. And I never will. And you know what? That's okay with me.
That's okay.
There's a lot of other alcohol to consume.
Yeah. You have plenty of options.
Yeah.
Thank you, corporate America.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. I could just have a shot of tequila and then nurse a beer.
Yeah.
Nurse a beer. Literally never done that in my life.
Nurse a beer, chug 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah. I need something to do with my hand.
I'm like, it's going to get warm.
Yeah.
It's like still ice in it as I like smoke it out of my throat.
People are like, why are you drinking PBR? And I was like, because it's here. It's here. And also it's not so heavy that I'll get drunk after 4.
Yeah, that's what I always
so fast.
I know, me too. That's why I love just like Amstel Light. I want like Tecate or Narragansett. Yes. Just like I want just like like when people are like, do you want an IPA? And I'm like, what am I going to eat a loaf of bread for the next hour? Like, no, I want to get drunk.
Yes.
But I also want to not get like obliterated on like an 8.7% beer that comes in a fucking chalice. Yeah. Like I just don't want to do that.
I don't want a beer I have to chew. Okay.
No, I don't want to chew it. I don't want it to taste like I'm mowing a lawn. I don't want to do any with my mouth. Like I don't want to do any of that. I just want to drink shitty light beer and then like drinks and wine.
Yeah. I love a wine.
I mean, I put away a bottle like nobody's business.
We gotta put away a bottle together.
Yeah. Well, we would each need one at least. Let's get 3.
Thank you. My kind of gal.
Yeah. I once showed up at my friend's place with 4 bottles of wine because I had just come from picking up. I have like a wine share where like every month they like select 4 bottles of natural wine.
Oh, fun.
It's great. It's like, you know, things you wouldn't choose and like new things or whatever. It's like a good price. And so I like brought that over to a friend's because I was picking it up on the way. And I was like, well, we could have 1 or 2 of these. We drank all 4, just 2 of us. And I was like, well, this is alcoholism. This is a problem. Oh, I'll say what I hate about TikTok.
Yes.
Is that I've followed a couple of things that are, it's not wellness. I hate wellness, but like stretching and like some just like body stuff. Cause like I've had a bunch of spine surgery. So I'm always looking for like, these are stretches that help open up your hips. I'm like, you know what? I need this. This is a good, like productive thing to look at in this app. The algorithm has taken me to sober TikTok and it makes me so upset because I'm like, what does my phone know? Like, I mean, I'm like, I get it. Like nobody would look at my drinking pattern and be like, I mean, you should consider it. Like, but it's just, it feels like it's so, and it's because of like the way the algorithm takes you through, like, you know, and also I have a lot of like recipes I try and save too. So that it's like that, they're like, I think that you're trying to make your life better. And it, from what we can tell from the microphone on your phone and everything that it kind of captures, it seems like maybe you should stop drinking.
Yeah. You're like, today.
Not today, TikTok.
Yeah. I still win. I still have choices. The algorithm won't take over me.
No.
Mine are all like earwax removal.
I see a lot of those, and I do want some of those tools.
Yes, 100%.
I'm like, also like I see those, and I'm like, is that everyone's ear, or is this like an extreme case?
Right?
I need them to explain to me, like, how bad is this on a scale of 1 to 10, and what should I expect is happening in my ears if my hearing is average?
Yeah. I did one of the candles.
Oh yeah,
I did the candles.
It work?
I was like, no, I don't feel any different. But then when I go to sleep, and I have like the sleep sound on, and I listen to it on this side, and then I roll away from it, and then the ear that I did do it on, it's louder. And I was like, oh my God.
But nothing came out?
Oh yeah, stuff came out, but it wasn't like a lot.
I'm interested in the one that's like, it looks like an air horn squirt bottle, and it's just spraying water into your ear, and then there's like a tub underneath catching the water, and then like I was watching one, and then like an acorn fell out of somebody's ear basically, and I was like, is that what's gonna happen? Like I want that, but I also don't want that to be happen. Like I want like the relief. I want the relief that feels, but not for that to be the case that's happening inside of my head.
I know. Yeah, you're like, if I shake it, will it rattle? Like, I get it. Oh God. Okay, so that's your high school. I know. This is how I bring us back. Okay, that was high school. Fun acorns in your head, and then and then college. What was college like? College. Well, you seemed like fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. I was a maniac. But like in a way that like I'm sure you had like a similar experience, and maybe this is why we drink quite similarly, is being an athlete.
Yes.
you aren't like, I can go party whenever I want. It's these like windows of like, this is when we get to party.
Yes.
So we must party very hard. It's like work hard, played hard, like American capitalism structure, like
Yeah.
forced onto children for like how to, it's like, go to school and have fun. It's like, everything is hard.
Yeah.
Even the fun stuff is hard.
Yes.
So like when I was rowing for the first, year or two before I had my first back surgery, like we only could drink one night a week. And in college, like that is not how anyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
So like we were partying a lot when we were partying, but like otherwise we really weren't. We had Saturday morning practices. We had practice every day. We had races most weekends.
Yep.
Like there were whole seasons where we like didn't, like in the spring from like March to June, I just didn't drink, which is like it's probably the last time I went that long without drinking. So like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is all.
I mean, I get
all right,
it.
sober TikTok. I'm listening.
You still won't win. I mean, yeah, for soccer it was double days.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, do not drink until the end of the season. And so we'd go 3 months.
We would have to
without
sign a paper that said we weren't going to, which wasn't like, you'd get kicked off the team, but it was just kind of like to keep accountability for everybody. So we really didn't drink that much. But then when we did, because we had no other friends, like you become sports in college is like, these are your friends. And it was just like other sports teams that were like in season at the same time. But rowing is co-ed in a sense that there's a men's team and a women's team, and you're kind of doing everything together in the same place.
Yeah.
So all of the men, I mean, in quotes.
Yeah.
All of the boys who are now I think that back and I'm like, those were children.
Yeah.
And I was like, they are dads. They seemed so old when I was a freshman.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so crazy.
And now you look at them now and you're like, you got old.
Yeah. Why? Where's your hair?
Must be hard to be a man.
I know.
Sorry, Fonz.
Sorry. I know. You guys have so many struggles.
That was sarcasm.
So like the partying was like getting together with like, we all lived in houses that were like the rowing houses. And like, so it was just like big parties of like rowers, and then like other sports teams would kind of like come in the mix. So it was like very contained.
Yeah.
And very fun. And like as a freshman, my friends and I were like, we just didn't give a fuck about what any of like seniors. We were like, I don't care what you think of me. Like, there is no ego here. Like, I'm better than you. Like, my friends and I, for some reason, walked in like the most confident 18-year-olds that anyone's ever met. Like, everybody else was like, I hope this sorority takes me. And I'm like, I just yelled at a 22-year-old. Like, we went to the senior guy's house once when we were freshmen, and we were so drunk, and I like walked into the kitchen, and I was like, he had marshmallows and marshmallow fluff like in his cabinet, and I just screamed, you can't have both, it's redundant, and threw them away. And it's like, and then I stole that guy's remote for his TV, which is probably the most psychopathic thing I've ever done.
That's mean.
That is so mean.
Because they were looking for it.
I don't even think that I thought it through that much, and then like was like, wow, that is devious.
Diabolical.
Like, that's gonna ruin someone's life, because he's like, where could it go?
Yeah.
Somebody didn't take it, but I did.
Yeah.
And then you have to get up, and I mean, this is before we had phones that could change TV. Like, he probably just had a TV that plugged into the wall with an antenna and a remote. Like, that's and I just took it because I was drunk.
And he's flipping over seat cushions. He's looking under.
Think of how you think about it now, or when you lose your phone and you're just like, I know it's here.
Yeah,
I know it's here.
It can't be anywhere else.
It can't be anywhere else. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's at my apartment.
You never gave it back?
No, I think I threw it away. Like, I was just like, bye. For no reason. This man did nothing. He did nothing to us. There was no, it's not like, oh, you were dating my friend and he cheated. No, nothing. I was just like causing mayhem. For no reason. Just because I was bored.
Yeah. I mean,
which,
like,
I don't know. We only got to drink once a week. I was like, make it count.
I mean, that's what we did. I would be like, okay, 0 to 60. Yeah. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Our games are on Fridays.
Yes.
And on Saturday nights, we're getting shit housed.
Yeah.
And then we start again on Monday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We would have Saturday morning races, and then we would just drift into the night and just start be like, I'll have cereal for dinner, and now I'm going to just have a handle of something.
Yeah, ours was Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan showed up a lot. I'm trying to I can't even remember
Good.
what. It was a lot. We did a lot of beer.
Yeah.
We did a lot of beer, and then we did a lot of like screwdrivers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We did
in our like when we would like pregame.
Yeah. We did what's it called? Arbor Mist.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
that's
the
something.
peach Arbor Mist.
Oof, God,
I can't even.
My mouth is, what's the opposite of watering? It's like, or what's the watering that's before throw up? Where it's like, it's like hot saliva.
And it's preparing. Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's coming up. All right, we got to lubricate this bad
get
boy.
this ready because this is all acid.
It's so gross.
It's so
we played beer pong with Arbor Mist.
So much. Oh my God, so much beer pong. And I think back and like, I think like, especially like having lived through the last couple of years of a pandemic, but also like being a New Yorker and like knowing how dirty the whole world is. I think back at what I did in college and I'm like, the fact that no diseases were contracted. And I don't even mean like STDs, but like also didn't get any. But like, just beer pong on its own is one of the dirtiest things I can imagine.
Yes.
You may as well just pour all the beer on the floor and lick it up. Like, that's truly what you're doing anyway.
With the cup, with the hands, and then the dipping in the water.
Everybody's hand, and then the ball touches the ground, and it's like, oh, just rinse it off in here. But it's like, that's the same water that I'm going to rinse it off in before. Like, it's all, you're just putting the floor in the cup.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
So gross.
Would I play it again?
Absolutely. Let's go find a clean, like a sterile environment to play beer pong.
Seriously.
No shoes. Everybody wears gloves.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Let's like keep our
There we go. We'll just have to change out the water, you know.
We just have like, there's like 50 cups on the table because there's a new water cup for everybody. It's like, what am I aiming at? It's like, it doesn't matter. Just start drinking. Okay, well, maybe we should open that bar.
I think we should. I mean, I think there is a beer pong bar that opened right before the pandemic.
Oh,
and
God.
Now
there's no way it exists anymore. We also did a lot of flip cup, which seems like vaguely safer until you think about like the mouth of the cup is on the table. The table is covered in everything. And you're like,
oh, it's sticky.
Yeah, cool. I can't get it up. Can't flip it up. It's literally glued to the table now.
I liked flip cup a lot.
I did too.
Yeah.
It just seemed a little like, it moved a little faster. So you're drinking a little faster. Because beer pong, I had to have like a side drink at all times. Because like, you know, you play with a bunch of people and none of you are good at it or you're all already drunk.
Yeah. And I was like, it's all about the form, and then I just miss wildly.
Yeah, I'm just like throwing it like at somebody.
Yeah,
chaos, true chaos.
So, what other mayhem did you cause in college? Any stories from college?
We had a lot of like themed parties, but like not in a intense like when like for Halloween when like every other girl was dressing hot. Like my friends and I dressed as a boy band of hunters called In Season, which I think is very clever. But it was just a way to get to wear sweatpants to a party.
Yeah, that's
because we got camouflage sweatpants and we were like, this is enough, and t-shirts. And like hats, and we were like, I'm comfortable. Like,
yeah.
And I remember running into the guy I had dated freshman year at that party, and he was dressed as a woman, like as a costume, and I'm like, okay. But he was like a lightweight rower, so he was like tall and thin and had like this curly blonde hair, and I was like, and I just ended up getting so drunk that I was like in the car on the way home screaming, he was a hotter woman than I will ever be. So that hurt a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, you watched RuPaul's Drag Race and you're like, all of them are hotter than I will ever be.
I couldn't put on lipstick and have it look remotely okay on me. I am not a makeup gal.
No.
And I just wish I had 1, centimeter of talent that all of those people have.
I mean, it's incredible.
It is really incredible.
I mean, you watch RuPaul's Drag Race and you're just like, I've done nothing.
Yeah. I'm like, did you go to RISD to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what? You need a fine arts degree.
And then they look at you and they're like, YouTube. And you're like, God damn it.
YouTube's like, you should get sober. And
yeah. We're getting different videos here, buddy. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're women in our own right.
Yeah.
Huh?
We're
There's
doing
different
great.
ways to be feminine.
There are.
Yeah. We use our mouths.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. You like that?
Good.
That's a good soundbite.
That's what men love.
Yes.
Just mouthy women.
Yeah, just loud and don't let you get a word in.
Yeah.
Constantly interrupting.
Yeah.
Higher volume.
What was that, Fonzie? Shut up.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. Thank you for being here.
Yes, no, really, we appreciate it. All the technical skills that neither of us could ever have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're doing great. I appreciate you every day. Anyway, so what do you do after college? Grad school?
Well, I took a break. I went home. I moved back home to Maryland for a year while I applied to other grad schools. That I applied for a PhD program in English, thinking that I wanted to be an English professor.
Okay.
Applied to all of those, and it's like a very involved process to apply for a PhD. So I lived at home and worked at Nordstrom part-time and did that. And I was going out to the bars with my manager from my department at Nordstrom, and we were a problem. It was the kind of, like, my parents didn't, like, we didn't have a talk about it, but I could tell that they wanted to. And they were like, what are you driving home? How are you getting here? Like,
yeah.
Real, like, like in the burbs, like people are a little like, yes, figure it out. And you're oh my God, no, don't.
Yeah.
But I remember she was a maniac. She was this like, she looked like a Barbie doll. She was like tall, thin, blonde, just like, and I was like, we look psychotic together. Like, I was like, did Barbie get a pet dog? Like, what's she doing here?
It's like the beginning of every rom-com. You know?
We look like twins, but women. Like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, wow. She's like the statuesque woman, but she absolutely had a drinking problem in a way that was like, I was like, oh, that's new.
Yeah.
That's new to me. That's interesting.
Yeah.
She would wear a fake like plastic engagement ring out and then get really drunk and like throw it in the trash in front of people to make them think. And I was like, for what? To what end? And she was like, I think it's funny. And I was like, oh my God, this is so intense. You're so intense. So I spent a year at home just like drinking around Annapolis, Maryland, just like being a fucking nightmare. And then I moved to New York like 6 or 8 months later and lived in Greenpoint.
Oh, nice.
Before
it was Greenpoint,
15 or 16 years ago. So it was kind of just like a Polish neighborhood where like we would like see old men like with like beaten up, like just walking around, and we're like, what happened? And they're like, just came from the bars, and you're like, it's like 11 a.m. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And then started partying around New York a little bit, but with like no money, which I guess that continued for a really long time.
Yeah.
that part actually only recently changed.
Still going.
Yeah. Still don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Would love to.
I know. I would love to be a rich drunk, but I'm not.
One day.
No. I think when if I ever, knock on wood, get to the point where I now have like, I can own a house and stuff like that, I don't think I'm going to be drinking the way I would be like, no, I got to keep this. This is scary.
Yeah. I guess it does then become like,
I could lose it
part
all.
of the equation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably have a family. So it's like, shit.
Yeah, I guess I can't just go out whenever because you have to go to school pageants or whatever. You have a dance recital? Like, I have to be at a martini bar right now.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Oh, doesn't that sound nice?
I mean, a martini bar always sounds nice.
I've never had a martini.
Oh.
Yes.
You wouldn't like it because many of them are vodka based.
Yeah.
But like, I like a gin martini if you like gin.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I like gin.
Yeah.
Gin's great. I love a Negroni.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
love a
favorite.
Negroni. I love a Negroni.
mean, that's where my headaches begin and end.
Yes, I made
them.
a lot of them over the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. Because it's an easy drink to make at home because it's equal parts of 3 things. And all you need is those 3 things.
Yeah.
And like
and a shot glass.
Yeah.
You just
and then
measure it out in the shot glass.
and then after a while, you're just like,
yeah.
Like, I would
right.
batch them out into a pitcher, and then I would like look over and be like, I'm the only one here.
But you can save it. None of the things go bad.
It's true. You just like put it in the fridge and it's fine.
100%.
I've never done that.
I mean, my friend did it for his wedding, and it was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, note to self.
You can save it.
You can save it.
But I didn't.
No, you just drank them. Yeah.
Man, boy. Pandemic really.
The pandemic really highlighted a few things.
It showed me some dependencies.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I was doing it in such a way where I was like, I don't know how you felt, like, not to jump all the way to like 2 years ago, because I guess there's a lot to cover, but there's kind of not. It's all just, I drank a lot in New York.
Good job.
But like, there was nothing to mark the change from day to night except for alcohol.
Yes.
And like that, like I like, especially because I wasn't, I'm sure you were similarly like not working during those early days. Like some people like were like, I'm working from home. And like, can't do stand up from home. And a TV show I was working on was like, yeah, we don't want to do this. So bye. And I was like, interesting. So it was just like day is TV.
Yeah.
Night is TV.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference in the TVs?
Yes.
And it's like, well, one of them you watch when you're drunk or stoned.
Yeah.
And that was how I had to delineate between night and day.
Yeah.
Which, saying that, sounds terrible.
No, I mean, Steve and I, we would do a workout in the morning, and then what would we do? And then we would try and do some comedy stuff, but then we were like 5 o'clock, cocktail time.
Yeah.
And we loved it. Oh, it was so great.
I would put together like a little spread of like happy hour snacks and like some nuts in a bowl and some chips in a bowl and like have like a really nice cocktail and be like, okay. And then I would finish that and I'm like, well, now it's 6.
Yeah, I know.
Better open up that bottle of wine. Better open up that other bottle of wine. Oh, do we have any Amaros? Do we have any Amaros? Yes, I have a lot of Amaros. Why do I have so many bottles of liquor? Like I had such a stocked bar through the whole, and still to this day, that like people come over and they're like, I'm like, what do you want to drink? And they're like, what do you have? And I'm like, no. Like order like it's a bar. Like that's what the options are.
That sounds great. I've started getting alcohol, and only because like I like go on the road with like Fortune, and she used to have in her rider to have like some bourbon, and so they would go over the top and get her a bunch of different bourbons, and so she's like, I'm flying and I can't take this, so here you go. So
it's nice to have it at home. I went years never having any alcohol in my home unless it was like for that night.
Yeah.
Like not keeping like, and like now we have options. Oh, I can like make a thing. It was always like, go get a wine because we got to start drinking.
Yeah, closes at 10.
Yeah, go now.
Yellowtail, where are you?
Oh my God, talking about that like. that hot saliva is coming up.
I know. The Yellowtail sangria I've had too many times, and it is
Remember
upsetting.
Carlo Rossi sangria and the jug that you could pick up?
I threw up in a tent. That made me throw up in a tent.
I've definitely thrown up from that. I remember in college, my friend and I used to buy a box of Peter Vella Chablis, which is a white wine in a box.
God bless.
And we would drink the whole thing before we went out.
Oh no!
And I'm like, why did I feel so terrible all the time? I'm like, I think if I had just been drinking better alcohol, I could have at least avoided some of the deep illnesses that were.
What kind of drunk are you?
Depends. It depends on what's happening in my life more than what I'm drinking. But, you know, there's been some sad ones.
Some sad ones?
The pandemic had like some dark, like just me in my apartment by myself, blacking out, texting everybody I know, be like, when is this going to end? But then I feel like everybody was really feeling.
Yes, everybody was drunk out, blackout, texting everybody.
Yeah, I feel like a majority of the time, I'm definitely this way with like Micah Fox, who I am like newly drunk friends with.
Oh yeah, she's a ball.
We've known each other for years, but hadn't really gotten to spend time together. And Emmy Blotnick and I have this wonderful theory, or not wonderful, it's terrible, that like women in comedy don't make friends with the other women until much later because you weren't allowed to be together for most of the first 8 years that you do it.
It's true. There's only one female comic per show. Yeah. And so you're making friends with all these male comics. So you suss out who the bad ones are.
Yeah, you got to establish all of that first. Yeah. And then you have to be like, well, which are the women? And it's like, I don't even know. And then like you're, you know, if you're on with another woman, it might not be somebody that you would want to be friends with necessarily because there are more than 3 at this point.
Yeah.
Women in comedy, not women. But like Micah and I just like go into a corner and we're just like, you are the best person I have ever met. Like it's just like it's crazy that not everybody is as obsessed with us as we are with each other. Like it's very like it's not mean, but it's definitely like we're not talking about how great we are enough. Like just very like it's all pretty positive and a lot of just like loving people and telling them that they're wonderful and just like bringing stuff up from years ago and be like, you said a joke once. It was so funny. I don't remember how it went, but I liked it. And like, like just like random shit. Like I like having a good time.
Yeah. Micah's been on this podcast.
I mean, I bet.
I mean, what a fun one.
She is a delight.
She's a delight. She's incredible.
A great time.
Yeah.
A great hang all around. Really love her.
Yeah. She's wonderful.
But yeah, I don't know what your preference is for like how you drink, but I'm a big like one-on-one max of 4 or max of 4 people, small crew. Like I think I'm over large parties.
Yes.
Like I find that and I'm like, no, I kind of just want to sit down.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I want to sit.
That's it. Give me sweatpants.
Give me sweatpants. But like even like big parties or like big where there's even if there's just like a large table of people, I'm like, this sucks. Like I just want to be like, I like to sit at the bar with one person and slowly get absolutely obliterated. Yeah. And then be like, I guess I gotta go home. Or we can go over place.
Yeah.
If you want.
100%. I love the one-on-one.
I love a one-on-one drinking.
When during the pandemic, I moved in, me and Steve, we moved in with Chloe and Jeff. May they rest in peace as a couple.
R.I.P.
But R.I.P. But they're both happier now, so that's great. Good people.
Yeah.
Good people. Didn't pick a side. All right.
Switzerland. Over
Yeah, Switzerland. There we go. But we had a fire pit in the backyard, so our friends would come over. So there'd be like
That's
8
nice.
people in the back just shit talking over a fire, getting drunk, having a nice time. And that was great.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That in a controlled environment, like 8 people, but it's like you're all around one thing. You're by yourself. There's not like, you're not in the middle of a bar. You're not in the middle of like a whole thing. Like I am somebody, and this happened, it's got so much worse during the pandemic. It is not about who else is here. I'm interested. Like my brain is like, what else is going on?
Yeah.
I cannot focus on one thing. And
Yeah.
there was a moment, remember like summer of 2020 when it first became like, go sit outside at a restaurant.
Yes.
And like, I didn't realize, I was with 2 friends of mine who I had kind of been potted up with, and we were outside at a restaurant. The next closest people were like truly 20 feet away from us.
Yeah.
We were just on the side of a road. It was just like, I was like, where am I right now? But it was like crazy to be. I could not, like, my friend was talking. I was like, I'm sorry. I can't listen to you. There is another sound happening.
Yes.
Because there had not been more than one voice playing around me.
Yes.
In months, because it had just been like either I'm watching TV or I'm on like a Zoom or I'm like in person one-on-one with somebody outside around no one.
Yeah.
And it became, and like I'm very much that
Yeah.
in like a loud environment. And like I feel like sometimes it reads as like, oh, you're looking around for someone else to talk. I'm like, I'm truly not. I'm just overstimulated.
Yes. Every time I'm like sitting at the cellar, I'm like, the door opens and I'm just like, hello.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's just like, I'm not looking for fucking Kevin Hart.
Right.
I'm literally
I'm
just
just-
trying to,
Yeah.
that's a loud noise.
My
Here
brain
we go.
can't like block out other sounds and light.
Yeah.
or like bodies or like whatever. So
That
like,
and I have to pee every 4
yeah,
seconds.
so it's like that's why I like prefer like a small, like if I'm just with one friend sitting at the bar, like I won't get as distracted by the rest of the bar. But if
Yeah.
we're in a group and suddenly like I have to keep looking around anyway, then my brain's like, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
I'm
a cat? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a
I
mess.
wish.
I know.
I
Oh,
know.
I got 2 kitties. Do you have kitties?
No, I want one so bad.
You should get a kitty.
I can't really like, my back is fine, but cats are a lot of bending. I had cats growing up, and it's like to feed them, to clean the litter box, to pick them up and cuddle them.
Yeah.
You do have to bend over a lot, and like my back, I shouldn't add more bending into my life if I can avoid it. So it's a bummer because like I would really love for there to be a kitty in my apartment, just cuddled up next to me.
I get it.
Making biscuits.
Yeah, making biscuits. Do you live alone still?
I do.
Nice.
It rules.
I mean, it sounds wonderful.
It really is.
Yeah, and I love my boyfriend, but
No, of course. And like
I
I understand
love
when
being
people are like, oh, this is nice, we live together. But like I gotta say, living alone.
it's nice because we're both on the road, and sometimes he's
That's
gone
nice.
and I'm
so
gone.
you get like a weekend where it's like, oh, I actually am home alone.
Yes.
And it's just you guys now.
Yeah, it's
That's
just us.
nice.
Yes, it's nice.
Not having another couple
Another couple
that breaks up.
Yeah. Well, they broke up after we left.
Okay.
So it was fine, and they were lovely roommates.
Yes.
Huh? How about that? They don't listen to this. They would be so annoyed listening to me just
Imagine
talk
listening
again.
to like your friend's podcast.
Oh God. Good God.
Oy.
If you're listening to this podcast, you're not my friend.
No.
I'm just kidding. I love you. Thank you. Nightmare. Oh boy. I'm a piece of shit. Thank you. I love you, Mom. I love you, Jess. My family listens to this podcast. Yeah, very supportive.
That's very nice.
So this is the point in the podcast where we like to ask if there are any stories we did not get to.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I should have like prepared. You also told me this was part of it, and then I was like, I got it. I got a bunch in my head, and it's like, well, that head is full of alcohol, so it doesn't remember any of the things. My memory is getting so bad, and I'm like, is it alcohol? And then I'm like, I'm gonna blame it on weed.
Yeah,
just like the one that everybody else blames everything on.
I had someone once tell me that they canceled on me day of because they were too hungover to do this podcast.
Oh wow!
And I was like, yeah,
correct.
That's exactly what this
correct.
podcast is. Yeah,
that is absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God, I don't know if there's any important stories that we haven't covered that would come to me in the next 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And 21st birthday, what'd you do?
I annoyingly, I was older than all of my friends by a couple of months. Like I was like the first one to turn 21, and like we didn't really do ID. Like at Cornell, like there was like 1 or 2 bars you could kind of just like roll your way into. And then other than that, I was like, I'm not going to waste money on an ID when like I go to parties every weekend with alcohol that's for free.
Yeah.
So I think I just like went to one of the bars with like some other people I was loosely friends with and like got drunk.
Okay.
I don't know. It was like it was like very unexciting. I had
Yeah.
a very unexciting 21st birthday. My birthday is December 22nd.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's just not a birthday.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like we came back from winter break and I did that with people and I was home over winter break and like none of my, like, it was just like, oh, this is nothing. This is nothing.
Yeah, my birthday is January 7th.
Okay, so you have a similar, like, by that time also, like, everybody's like, no, we did it already.
Yeah.
We did all of the stuff.
We did all the stuff, and now we're doing New Year's resolutions.
Yes,
and
everybody's doing a dry January.
Yeah, January.
Have you done any of the dry months?
I usually do after my birthday. I take the rest of January off.
That's nice.
Because I have fun on my birthday.
Yeah, no,
you know?
should. Yeah. I always was like, I don't know if I decide a specific month, then I'm like, well, what are we saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should just like take it easy sometimes. Yeah. And that hasn't happened.
Sometimes I do it if I just want to lose weight really fast.
When I see my face sometimes, I'm like, maybe this week we don't drink. Like, I didn't drink last night. Mm-hmm. I'd had like a wild Friday.
What's a wild Friday?
I was at Union Hall. I hosted my show and then just stayed.
Yeah.
And like, it was like me and Robert Dean and Gondelman and like 2 or 3 of my friends just like out on the side, just like putting away drinks.
Yeah.
Over several hours.
Yeah.
Not wild. Like nothing happens anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it was just a lot of consumption.
Yeah.
And then, Saturday, my parents were here, so I was miserable all day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, this was dumb. This was a dumb thing to do. Why did I do this? And then Sunday, I had like 1 or 2 drinks during like a live podcast over Zoom that I was doing. And then like last night I didn't drink and I was like, well, my face looks different today. Just 24 hours is really doing enough to make me feel, and I'm sure if I saw it, like when I see this video, just kidding, I'm not going to watch it because it's going to make me upset. That I'd be like, maybe you don't drink anymore ever, TikTok.
Don't say that. It's gonna know.
It's gonna keep thinking that
You're waffling, huh?
No, never. I want to leave. I'm like immediate. I'm like, oh, good. I have a show tonight. I can have a beer.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. All the stories are blending together. It's been a lot of wild, fun nights with a bunch of like amazing comics that are great party hangs.
Yeah,
and like a lot of late nights at Cabin back in the day and fun road gigs and. Yeah.
Have you ever embarrassed yourself during comedy?
During comedy?
Like amongst comedy people?
Oh, 100%. But they would all know that and I would know it less. So just don't tell me, if you're listening to this, don't tell me what I did or said or possibly who I like talked to that I should have.
Yeah.
There's some missing pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I don't think that I black out a lot, but my memory takes some jogging.
Yeah.
To really always have all of the pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's probably not great. But I'm fine with it. I don't find that to be a problem. That's just something I'm like, well, I wish I could remember things. I could recall things.
Yeah.
And not be like, what was last night? And be like, last night. Greg! Stone, obviously. I'm like, who did I see? Who did I talk to? Like, those are always the hard things. But like,
it's so fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
You got to get a martini.
All right, I'll try one.
But we'll do some wine.
Okay. Wine we'll start with wine.
Yeah, wine is easy. Negronis are easy.
Yes. Yeah. But a martini? I was watching Drink Masters. Fuck me.
What is that?
It is a very bad reality show.
Okay.
On Netflix that is about bartenders making drinks. And it's amazing how creative they are, because I'm like, there's just the classic cocktails and that's what you drink. And they're like, no, we're infusing gummy bears and blah, blah. Like, it's crazy what they do. So in that way, it is impressive. Yes. But at the same time, I'm like, why am I watching this?
Why? It's like no fun.
Yeah. But they're like martinis. Everybody loves martini, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I've never had one.
They are like lethal.
Yeah.
Like, and they serve it in just like a Frisbee on a chopstick. Like, it's just, I'm like, I'm spilling this before I drink it. I get a whiff of this alcohol and like, this is like on the floor.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. But like, they are great.
Yeah. All right.
But
I'll get one day.
Yeah. But wine is always going to be there.
Wine is always there. She's our champion.
Yeah. I went once to my friend at a restaurant, and like, we thought that like, we were trying to be like, oh, let's be good. Like, we were like, oh, and we were looking at the menu and they had like some word that we didn't recognize, but we assumed it was like another word for carafe. So like, like a half bottle. And we're like, oh, let's just get that. And then we'll split that. Instead, it was like a double bottle. And then once they open it, you own it. Yeah. And so we're like, I guess we're going to drink that. And we just drank like 2 bottles of wine. We were trying to have like a nice night in. We ended up like wandering the streets of the West Village. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, sometimes now I have no shame in being like, what does this mean?
Yes.
What does this mean?
That taught me a lot about just ask.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to shame you for not knowing some bizarre French or Italian word that you've never seen before. Do it before. There were no prices anywhere, which I'm like, that's always such a red flag.
That's a red flag.
And it's like, oh, wow, $220, 2 bottles. Just some
oh, boy.
Just big old.
Well, at least it was a lot of wine for a lot of money.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You're correct. At least the volume matched the price.
Yes.
And that's really what it's all about.
That's all you need. Well, Alison, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter for now, until we all leave because it sucks. And Instagram at Alison Leiby.
There we
I don't
go.
post anything on TikTok. Lurking, just kind of like the way men use social media, just looking.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Anything you want to promote?
Oh, I have a podcast too.
Oh, that's
It's
fun.
called Ruined.
Oh.
It's where my friend Hallie Kiefer is a horror movie aficionado. She
Mhm.
loves them. I will never see a horror movie. I don't
Yeah.
like them. And she just tells me the plot of a different movie every episode.
Oh, that's fun.
So if you don't like scary movies,
I hate them.
but you want to know what happens,
Yes.
I always want to know. It's like live Wikipedia reading.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so we do that. So that's
Oh,
really
that's
fun.
great.
So Ruined.
Okay,
podcast.
great. Listen to it.
Yeah.
Well, Alison, thanks for doing the pod.
I can't wait to have some wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.